Hey, Riddle here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a subscriber. This is going to be one of my more rambling videos because I had a weird experience today, and I'm going to try to share it with you and articulate it as fairly and as thoroughly as I can. So I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and I decided that I would go get my hair cut. So for the most part, when you're a guy, a haircut is a haircut is a haircut. And if you find a good stylist at Supercuts, that's the place to go. So I made my online reservation at Supercuts and went to this young guy that had cut my hair the last time. He did a good job the last time. Well, the first thing I learned is if you make the reservation online, they give you the option of the $17 haircut or the $20 haircut. Don't get the cheaper one. Because the kid, he didn't ask me like how I wanted my hair cut. He didn't ask me anything. He just kind of jumped right into it and started chopping away at my hair. And I was like, okay. So that's the first thing I learned. If you do your online reservation or go for the cheaper haircut at Supercuts. The second thing was, we started to have this conversation about this and that and these and those. And like a lot of people these days, and I don't want to be too blamey or specific to the younger generation, the millennial generation and younger, this kid had some really weird ideas, illogical ideas, and very limiting ideas. So we were discussing these ideas because we shared some things that we agreed upon about politics and different things that are happening in society. And then there's some things I kind of had to check him on. And that's healthy because that's how we learn about each other, is communicating and sometimes disagreeing intelligently through our life experience. Now, that is the disadvantage or the danger sometimes that you have when you're younger, because you really don't have the life experience to back up your ideals. And sometimes you're going to learn in another 10 or 20 years that those ideals that were planted in your head through society or circumstance were misguided. I'm going to give you an example, but that's not the worst of what happened there. Something really crazy happened there. So we're having our calm conversation and really not talking loudly. There was no one in the chair next to us. And we weren't going heavy on politics. It wasn't like, rah, rah, the president or those immigrants, nothing like that at all. He had brought up the fact that he felt he had very communist ideals. And I am not a sociopathic capitalist, but you know, in America, that's why you're in America. The American dream is that you can do anything, be anything, and come here with nothing and grow yourself into wealth. Grow yourself into wealth. That's the American dream. But with this younger generation, this weird combination of lack of jobs, expensive, they can't afford apartments, they can barely afford to live, debt, and the failing ecology, the dying planet, they are getting these really odd fixed ideas, fears, and literal like phobias of money and of success. And he literally said to me that he felt that basically that landlords or renting, was like this type of like monarchistic tax, or, like something indentured, something unfair. And he had this idea that landlords, all landlords, they charge you this premium for rent, and then they just, they let you live in rats with mold and give you the worst of the worst. And he had no idea that I had just closed on a big real estate deal, mixed use property. It's my third or fourth property, multifamily units. And I told him, I said, the thing is with today's society often is that the victim role, the disempowerment is the new norm, and that is what people are accepting as okay. And basically, it sounded to me as what he was doing in his life. Instead of doing something in his life to try to make more money so he didn't have to live in those kind of places, or instead of not choosing to support that type of businessman or that type of landlord to begin with, he has choices. We all have choices. And instead of taking responsibility for his choices, he's blaming the business. He's blaming the circumstance. And he can do that all he wants, but as long as we keep, watching a talent show and choosing someone because their grandmother has fart disease versus how talented they are, we are supporting a pity society, and we are encouraging people to capitalize on their weakness instead of reality, and growing and taking on the challenges of life and change. That given, we were having a very civil conversation about this, and I was explaining to him from my side, coming from working poor, blue-collar people, and my partner also coming from nothing and putting himself through school, and the sacrifices we made and working so hard to get what we've gotten, and working at getting more to secure a comfortable retirement. This kid needs to really, really, and a lot of people out there need to get over this idea that there's this black and white division between the haves and the have-nots, the rich and the poor, but more so that if you have, that it's just been given to you. That's America. America isn't just people who inherited and are born into wealth. Many, many, many Americans, and especially American immigrants, first, second, third generation, worked very hard to get what they got and to give what they got to their children and grandchildren. So get over it. And if you want to blame someone or point the finger because they have more than you do, you need to take that time and work a little harder on self-improvement and get a plan to get your own. Because it's really unfair, and it's very toxic. And again, it's just weakening our society as a whole. The mentality is weakening us as a people. But he and I weren't arguing. We were having a very calm conversation back and forth about different things, agreeing, disagreeing, and all of a sudden, the manager comes over. Hispanic woman, probably in her mid to late 30s, and tells me directly, though she's speaking to both of us, that we are not allowed to talk about religion, race, politics, or anything like that in that salon. I agreed with her because I didn't want to get the kid in trouble, because she also said that she had warned him about this before. But think about it. Forever, when people get together, women, more women than men, in that salon type setting, you talk about, of course, the banal things, your family and this and that, but often it is a space that we share our beliefs, ideals, and disagreements. It's practically an American tradition that is the space that you share with people publicly. And here was this woman, and not that this is relevant, but it did shock me, I have to say, who was obviously an immigrant, because she had a very, very heavy accent, so she definitely wasn't first generation, telling me that I didn't have the right to have a conversation, a civil, quiet, intelligent conversation about business. And there were politics mixed in it, but it wasn't a political conversation. So what did I do? I had a shitty haircut, first of all, because when she walked over and confronted us in the way she did, so oddly and gracelessly, it rattled the stylist, and he really hurried my haircut, and so I didn't get the best haircut, first of all, though I didn't take that out on him. I still tipped him generously, though I probably won't go back there. And then I called the corporate office. And I shared my story with them, and I sent them an email. This may not do anything but allow me to vent my frustration, but I'm not about to be told what I can and cannot talk about in a civil, calm manner when I'm paying for a service, especially. Because last time I checked, this was a free country. Ay, ay, ay. So, I'm not sure if those details were important, but it just paints a stronger picture and kind of puts punctuation points at certain parts of the emotions of the story. And I'll make another video and let you know how, if I get an apology, if I get a free haircut, or how Supercuts responds to my complaint. And I didn't have time because I'm going on vacation. I probably will go and call or have a conversation with that manager directly too. But today I just didn't have time to put my energy into anything intense. So anyway, that's my story. Take care of yourselves. Have a great holiday. I'm headed to Costa Rica, and I'll let you know. Maybe I'll make some videos when I'm there. A lot of times I don't, though. You know, a lot of YouTubers, they really capitalize on their travels, but when I'm traveling, I kind of just want to enjoy the traveling, unless it's something really exceptional. But I'm sure I'll take a couple videos and share them with you while I'm there. I'm going to Costa Rica mainly because I like to take my money and resources now to countries that match my ideals and my politics. I love that they have great medicine there for their people that's affordable. They have affordable health care that's high quality. I love that out of all the South American countries, they are not destroying their environment. They're actually capitalizing on it. It's not the cheapest place in South America to travel to, but it's okay. It's about the same price as America, and I would pay that price or more to support how they care for their people and how they are preserving their environment. And I hope the president of Brazil hears that. All right, bye.